Hello all and welcome to another episode of Elegantly EDC. Today's show is going to be slightly different, and I'm going to see how much EDC gear you can get at Walmart for $100. This video is not sponsored by Walmart or any brands featured in this video, and we did not seek permission to film inside their store, so we didn't bring any video equipment in. But I do want to point out a few things. I was genuinely surprised by the selection and variety of EDC items they offered. We found numerous brands like Cevivi, Victorinox, Swiss Tech, Kershaw, and more. But for this episode, we chose to focus on Walmart's own Ozark Trail gear. And boy did we get a lot of it for $100. But is it any good? Let's take a look. The first thing that I needed to do was find something to store my EDC loadout in. And funny enough, I started out in the camping and fishing section when I realized that there was a purse section. So I headed across the store, and Walmart had a surprisingly decent selection of purses and backpacks that could be used as an EDC bag. But ultimately, I went with this one. This is the No Boundaries brand hands-free sling bag, and I chose this one because of its outer material. Now, the tags on it didn't say what it was specifically, but it feels similar to what you would find on all-weather bags. And I would need something that could stand up to a little bit of rain where I live. The zipper track is not a waterproof track like you would see on a Tom Talk or Peak Design bag, but the zippers are of a larger caliber, so I'm not really worried about these getting snagged compared to something with a smaller size zipper. The strap is adjustable via a plastic buckle, so in the long run, this may be something to keep an eye on in case it breaks or cracks. But the reversible clasp at the bottom is made of metal and pretty easy to use, so I was pretty happy with that as well, and that's another reason why I chose this. I like that this bag can be worn on the front or on the back compared to other bags that were strictly backpacks. I left this piece on, this is actually what hung it up on the rack, but it didn't bother me and I actually like having the extra hook on it. The inside is spacious enough, it doesn't have a whole lot of organizer pockets like you would see in a true EDC bag. But the main pocket has a small zipper pouch, and this would be great for a wallet and some cash or some other smaller items. The second pocket is large-ish, with enough room for a small notebook or other small to medium-sized EDC gear. This bag is not going to be very keychain friendly like some other bags that I have. As you can see, there's not a really great place to attach anything on the outside. You could, for argument's sake, attach it to the free loop right here, but then it would hang loosely and be more susceptible to being swiped if you wore this on your back. Another positive feature is the ability to scrunch the bag down by using this elastic pull, and then once you've got it where you desired, lock it into place. I paid $16.98 for this bag, and for all it's worth, I'm pretty impressed with it. Walmart surprised me with the options available, and yeah, this is probably not going to be the same quality as other brands, but it's a great first EDC bag for someone who is just getting started, or even as a cheaper alternative for those who don't want to break the bank. The next thing that I wanted to hit on my list, something to see. Again, there were a lot of options for flashlights at Walmart to choose from, but I needed something that was both good and small. This was the smallest I could find that also wasn't complete junk, because yes, I could have gotten one for $1.23, but it would also only be 1.23 lumens if that. So, this is the Ozark Trail rechargeable LED flashlight at a modest price of $17.97. It is a fixed beam flashlight with a high, medium, and low setting ranging from 1,000 lumens to 80 lumens. And the best part is, it's a tactical tail switch. On the high setting, you can get up to an hour and a half of runtime at full charge with a beam distance of 200 meters. Medium, up to 3.5 hours on full charge with a beam distance of 120 meters. And finally, low with up to 8 hours at full charge with a beam distance of 60 meters. And this is all according to the user manual, by the way. As you just saw, I have to cycle through the different modes. There is no memory mode setting like other high-end flashlights out there on the market. And while this may be annoying to some users, there are no goofy button patterns to memorize like up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start on this light. It's very straightforward. Clicking once to turn it on and cycle through everything, and once again to turn it off. It just simply works. The frame around the button and the charging port is slightly raised, and this is to prevent accidental bumping of the power button, and it also allows you to stand it upright. This is an appreciated and intentional design choice. Something that makes this light feel more premium is the rechargeable battery, and it comes with a USB-C cable in the packaging, which is nice. And not only that, when the light is on, the charging port right here will actually light up indicating the battery level. green for over 67%, like in my case, orange when the battery levels are between 34 and 66%, red when it's between 6 and 33%, and then finally it should flash red when it's below 5%. So while this may not be a smart flashlight with a base magnet and memory mode, it's certainly intuitive. One drawback that I found is that this battery is not replaceable. One day this battery is going to give out, which is common for a lot of small flashlights, especially at this price point. Last couple of specs from the user guide, it has an average drop tolerance at 1 meter, an IPX4 rating, again this is great for me during the rainy season, and a deep carry pocket clip here on the side. And though it didn't come with a wrist strap, you do have the option to add that as indicated right here on the bottom. The handling is comfortable, the slight is a little more stout than most, but it's certainly not a deal breaker. And pivoting between the tail switch for constant power into a more standard holding stance isn't bad. My fingers don't get caught up on the pocket clip or the edges of the light, which is really nice. No EDC kit is complete without a knife, and whether that's a larger one or a smaller one is totally up to everyone else, but I purchased the Ozark Trail 7-inch folding knife. The stainless steel blade itself on this is 3 inches long. Walmart again had a surprising amount of blades to choose from, including Swiss Army knives, Kershaw's, and more. But in the interest of not spending 2/3 of my budget on a single item, I went for this one, which was $7.97. The handle is 4 inches long and it has a scale finish for better grip, and there's also a nice indent in the handle for the index finger, which also helps with grip. Also on the handle, a deep carry pocket clip, though it is stuck to the one side and not reversible, and a small loop to attach to a keyring or strap. There are 2 ways to open this folding knife, either by flicking it open or by using the thumb studs. When I first got this knife, and right before filming this video actually, the joint on the blade was a little bit stiff, but a little bit of WD-40 and it opened smoothly after that. For a ball bearing knife, I thought it would be a little bit more smooth, but the issue was resolved quickly, so I guess brownie points there. The lock on the knife is a standard liner lock, not my favorite design choice in a knife, but it is effective. Fresh out of the box, it's sharp enough to handle small tasks, but this may need some sharpening in the near future. Its handling surprised me a lot, and I'm particularly impressed at how balanced it is. It's a great starter knife for those who are exploring the knife world, or even as a gift to someone who's new to the world of EDC. Onto the Trailside 12-in-1 multi-tool. Right up front, is this a knockoff of the Leatherman style multi-tool? Yes. Is it as good? No. But for a light-duty versatile multi-tool, you'd be hard-pressed to beat it, especially at a price point of $7.94. So first, the good news. For less than the cost of a fast food value meal, you get 12 tools that include the universal spring-loaded long-nose pliers with a wire cutter, 2 different knives, one of which is serrated and one is smooth, both of which appear to be exceptionally sharp out of the box, though I think they refer to this serrated knife as a saw, a medium and small slotted flathead screwdriver, each of which have a bottle opener, a Phillips head screwdriver, a file, an awl, and a can opener. All pretty standard fare in the multi-tool universe. It also comes with a nylon carrying case that can be attached to a belt. Now for the bad news. The fit, finish, and materials are nowhere near the same level as other premium competitors, especially the tool that inspired it. For instance, the pliers are opened with a small exposed spring that doesn't really fill me with confidence, and the rest of the knife is held together with pressure rivets as opposed to adjustable hex screws. So deploying these is not as smooth as those found on premium multi-tools. There also doesn't appear to be that much thought given to the ergonomics, as it lacks smooth contours of its premium competitors. But here's the thing. For the vast majority of people, none of that really matters. This little multi-tool will get most light-duty jobs done at a fraction of the price. If you're a professional tradesman whose livelihood depends on these tools, or you're just really into EDC gear like me, then this probably isn't the tool for you. Bottom line, I love my Leatherman multi-tools. They're fantastic, but there's no getting around the fact that I can buy 10 of these for the cost of just one of these. And for most people, and if I'm completely honest, myself included, this little tool from Ozark Trail will do the trick in most cases. Next up is the rechargeable hand warmer from Walmart's Ozark Trail for $9.97. And again, I've got to point out just how much you actually get for $10. The hand warmer has 3 settings. The lowest setting is about 105 degrees, and all the way up to its highest setting of 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Another thing of note is the digital screen that indicates which setting you're on or what the battery level is. The heat is distributed evenly across the smooth metal casing, making it comfortable to hold. It feels very well made, though maybe not as premium in its fit and finish. The manufacturer states that you can expect about 6 to 8 hours of heat on the lowest setting, 4 to 6 hours of heat on the medium setting, and 2 to 3 hours at its highest setting. Additionally, it doubles as a power bank and features both a USB-A and a USB-C port on the top. And it also comes with a short charging cable. You'll find a power button for the heat and a separate power button for the unit's LED flashlight. The flashlight isn't anything special. It's about as bright as your cell phone, maybe at its highest setting a bit brighter than that. Still, honestly, it's a great little addition, and when used as a power bank, this unit has nowhere near the same capacity as a dedicated power bank of a similar size. Still, again, that's also a great feature to add. And let me stress this again. This unit came in at just shy of $10. Bottom line, the Ozark Trail rechargeable hand warmer is an excellent value proposition. It's reliable, reusable, and a cost-effective way to keep your hands warm, make your way through the dark, and provides enough reserve power to charge a phone or other small electronic device. It may not have the ultra-long battery life of more premium brands, but for an average day outdoors, it provides more than enough heat and a truly surprising degree of functionality. If I had to find a fault in it, my only complaint would be that it's not designed for one in each hand, but rather it's to be stored in a front pocket with both hands clasped around it. Other than that though, this was a nice wild card from Walmart. This next category of things that I purchased are what I'll call miscellaneous. And this is because I purchase things specific to my EDC preferences, and it's not going to be the same for everyone. For me, a lighter, even if you don't smoke, is always a good thing to have. Walmart did have Zippo lighters, inserts, and fuel available, but I went for the No Fuss Bic lighter. This one is the Easy Reach model for $3.22, and I prefer this over the standard lighter, as I find it easier to light things, especially at those awkward angles where it won't burn my hands. This trigger is a little bit stiff and requires some effort, but at least this way, the likelihood of accidental discharge in a bag is reduced. Another EDC staple for me is something to write with and subsequently something to write on. Walmart didn't have a whole lot of options for small notebooks. Most of them were medium-sized, but I did manage to find a few options, including this 3-pack of notebooks. The print isn't the most desirable, at least for me, but, beggars can't be choosers. Now, I don't need all 3 in my bag at one time, just one will do the trick, but it's nice to have one in reserve when I eventually run out of paper in this notebook. This pack is on par with the field notes if you're a fan of those, and the 3-pack cost me $3.84. My pen of choice for this video was the Pilot brand G2 ballpoint gel pen. And honestly, I would prefer the Pilot Precise V5, but I have had leakage issues with those, especially in bags. So a ballpoint pen with a thicker gel versus a thinner ink felt like the right way to go. Plus, I got a 2-pack for $2.98. Pilot makes good pens, with super smooth writing and even distribution of the ink. It's good stuff. Moving on, this is the Happy Hiker First Aid Kit. And before all of you first responders and well-trained, prepared amateur medics come at me, admittedly, first aid is a bit too ambitious of a description. It's really more of an ouchie kit designed for small cuts and scrapes, bug bites, blisters, and mild sunburns. It includes bandages, blister pads, butterfly closures, antiseptic wipes, a little Silvex wound gel, burn cream, and antibiotic ointment, a small container of sunscreen and bug repellent, all in a neat high-vis package. And to be fair, it doesn't pretend to be anything more than that. Is this my go-to kit for a 10-day jaunt along the AT? No, but it's great when you might get caught out in a pinch, or when those shoes you haven't broken in yet remind you of why you should always break them in the first place. Especially if we throw in some moleskin padding, a little medical tape, some quick clot, and a few other odds and ends, I think it could be really great. And like everything I looked at in this review, I'm genuinely impressed with the combination of value and function that I found in this product. The last couple of items are pretty self-explanatory. Some travel-sized Tylenol for $2, hand sanitizer, especially since flu season is on the way for $1.97, chapstick for $1.43 since colder weather is approaching, and finally some floss for $1.97. So, ring everything up and throw in some tax that our founding fathers would definitely throw more tea into the harbor for in protest against, and our grand total for this lot came out to $99.53. But back to the question that I posed at the beginning of the video. Is it any good? On the whole, I'm inclined to say yes, but with stipulations. Having opened and used all of these items, if I did this again, I would have definitely swapped out some purchases with a different brand here and there. And we can all agree that I could have bought the cheapy hot hands, but I promise you, girls especially are going to prefer the hand warmer that I purchased instead. But when we put quantity, quality, and price on the scales, you have to admit that this is a decent haul, especially for someone who may be new to EDC gear looking for a competent place to start. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What would you have purchased or not have purchased from Walmart if the roles were reversed? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning into my Walmart adventure, and I'll see you next time.